Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I'm going to explain Skill 5, Module 3, Modeling on page 74. Now, as you know, we are working on spreadsheets. When we work on spreadsheets, there are many things that we can do, like what we have done at the beginning when we made the plan. We have tested the values after we finished entering all the data, the formulas, and even the values that we need on the spreadsheet. We did the testing table and we tested all the data that we have to make sure that everything is correct. And now we are at the point of modeling. Now, when it comes to modeling, it's different from testing because it doesn't depend on seeing if you will have something wrong or if your formula is correct or incorrect. You do that when you finish testing, so everything is going to be correct after that. Now, modeling is a process of changing some data that you have on the spreadsheet to see what will happen if there is another scenario that you expect. So you make some changes to the values only, you don't make the changes to the formulas, and you see what else will be affected, what else will change according to the changes that you will make on the spreadsheet. Now, when I want to do modeling, I have two different reasons why I do modeling. Sometimes I do modeling to change data and see what will happen if I do this change. For example, I'm making a spreadsheet for buying a game console. I receive amount of money and I spend amount of money every week. So I want to just think what will happen or what happens if I don't spend money. I want to see what will happen if I do that. The other reason or purpose of modeling is to just change some data and get answers to questions. We might have some questions, maybe people will ask us these questions, and we want to get answers to these questions. So, for example, in the game console example, what will happen if I want to buy the game console in 50 weeks? Now let's try these examples together in the game console to understand them well. Starting with the first one, which is what will happen if I don't spend money? Now I want to change some data to see what will happen if I do that. I might change my plan if I do that. So I go to my spreadsheet, which is the game console spreadsheet. Here is the game console spreadsheet. Let's just understand it first or remember it together. We have some labels that will tell us what the data is about. So we have data here, weekly pocket money, which is the amount of money I receive every week. We have money spent each week or every week we spend money. So we put the amount of money that we spend every week. And then we have the cost of the game console that we want to buy, which is the one that is here, and we have a label that says the amount saved per week, which is actually a formula. So we have a formula here. I want to know the amount of money I save every week. So I need to subtract the amount of money I spend every week from the weekly pocket money. So the formula says in the formula bar equals B3 minus B4, which is B3, the weekly pocket money, and B4, which is the money spent each week. Now, in the next one, it's also a formula. It says number of weeks. I need to know the number of weeks I need to maybe spend or I need to wait for until I'm able to buy the game console, depending on the cost of the game. So the formula here says, if you look at the formula bar, it says equals F3 and then slash, which is division B5. So F3, there is F3, is the cost of the game console. So I divide the cost of the game console by the amount of money that I save every week. This is the formula that we have here. Now, in the first scenario that we have, we want to change to see what will happen if we don't spend money. Now, I need to think about which cell I have to change. Remember that we make changes to data only. We don't touch the formulas. So if I want to spend no money, which means I have to go to the money I spent each week, which is the value that is typed in cell B4. It says 3.5. So if I don't spend money, that means I'll spend 0, which will be represented by hyphen, I can notice, if I undo now, I can notice some changes. And this is the main use of modeling. So I change and then I see what will happen to all the formulas that maybe are connected or that match this cell. So I want to do the changes again. All the formulas that will refer or that will have reference to this cell will have some changes. So I keep my eyes on them to know what will change. So if I click on it again, I make it 0 and then I press enter. Here it is. The amount of money that I will save every week will be $10 in this case. And if you notice the number of weeks that I need to buy the game console, it will be less than before. It was 123 and now 80 weeks only. Now, every time you model, you have to undo. You can just press on Ctrl Z to undo to get all the data back because modeling is just like expecting. So there is no need to keep your data as you change. Now let's try the other one, which is when I want to do modeling to change data and get answer to a question. So there is a question that is, what if I want to buy the game console in 50 weeks? It's same as the one before. We just do the same, but this time I just want to get an answer to this question. I'm not going to decide, I'm not going to change, but I want to see what will happen if I want to do that. So let's go now and see what we need to change. If I want to buy the game console in 50 weeks, I need to think about the cells that I have to change in order to do that. Now, some people will maybe make mistake and go to the number of weeks and try to change it. Let's try to change it. Let's say, for example, I will make the number of weeks 50. Now, nothing has changed. Why? Because I have added a value instead of a formula here, which will change everything. There is no formula here, and there will be maybe some errors or some mistakes in the calculation that I have on the spreadsheet. So I undo now, and I want to think about which data I have to change. Now, the best thing that I can change in this case to maybe decrease the number of weeks I need in order to buy the game console is to change the maybe the amount of money I spend every week, or I change the weekly pocket money. Let's try to do this. We change the weekly pocket money and see what will happen to the number of weeks. We need to increase it so that we will be able to decrease the number of weeks. So we'll try to do, for example, this is $10. We'll make it 15. We need to reach 50. So we'll keep our eyes on the number of weeks until we reach 50. Okay, now it says it's 69.56. It depends on the amount of money that you spend every week as well. Okay, let's try to give it another value. We'll increase it to $20. So every week we receive $20. Now it became like 48.48, which means it is 48 and it's like approximately 50. So if you get approximate result, it's okay because it can be like it's somehow similar to the expectation. So 48 will be enough. If you try to change it, let's just make it maybe 30. It's gonna be 30 weeks. Okay, it will be less, but we want to do that in 50 weeks. So we'll try to get to the approximate result. So we'll make it $20 again, and it will be enough. If you try to make it 25, let's try to make it 25 and then we press enter. Now, when we made it 25, if you notice, the number of weeks is 37, so it doesn't make sense. We better make it $20 so that we have the approximate result, which is 48 weeks. Now, let's try to do an activity together. We will start with activity 5.1, page 77. The activity says, a new game console has been released that costs $999.99 without changing the amount of money that you receive each week and the amount you save. Find out how many weeks it will take for you to buy for this new game console. So we're not supposed to change the amount of money that we receive or even the amount of money that we save. We need to find way, we can underline this. So we need to find way to make some changes to see what will happen without changing the amount of money we receive or even the amount of money that we save. Remember that the cost of the game console is going to be 999.99. So let's go to the spreadsheet now. We will just click on the cell that has the value of the cost of the game console. We'll make it $999.99 and then we press enter. You keep your eyes on the number of weeks to see what will happen and make sure that all the data has been brought back. So we have weekly pocket money, $10. We have the money we spend every week. We spend $3.5 and then we press enter. Here it is. Now the number of weeks will change into 153 weeks. So for the question that says, how many weeks will you take to buy the game console? To answer this question, you can say it will take, as it says in the spreadsheet, 100. So you just have to take the approximate value, 153. Or if you wanna like try to look at the decimal value to give the approximate value, we actually have 84. So it's approximately 154. You can also increase and decrease the decimal value to help you do that. To do that, all you have to do is go decrease the decimal value, and it's going to give you the result, the approximate result. So it's 154 weeks. So it will take 154 weeks. Here it is. Now we just make sure that we bring everything back. So we just undo, Control Z, we have the cost of the game console. Now we will go to the next activity, which is activity 5.2. On activity 5.2, it says imagine that you get the raise in the amount that you receive as your weekly pocket money. Add another $10 you receive a week to the amount of the money that you currently receive. How many weeks will it take for you to save for the game console now? Now, it doesn't tell you that you have to change the cost of the game console, but it has already said that you need to change the amount of money that you receive. So you can now go immediately to the spreadsheet, make sure that everything is back, click on the cell that has the weekly pocket money. It says you need to add another $10, so it's going to be $20. Keep your eyes on the number of weeks so that you can answer the question. You make it 20, we press enter, and here it is. The number of weeks is going to be 48 weeks. If you want to increase or decrease the decimal value, you can do that by going to the Home tab, and then you go in the Numbers group. You just click on the button that will increase or the button that will decrease. So here is decrease and here is increase. So it's approximately 48 weeks. So to answer the question, how many weeks will it take you to save for the game console? Now you can easily say You will take, it will take 48 weeks. Here is the answer to the question. Now, I want you to complete activity 5.3 in the game console example, but after that, you have to do activity 5.4, 5.5, and 5.6 on page 78 in the Ultimate League example. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.